My 6 favorite Spock scenes in Star Trek movies make me love the Vulcan even more. Spock appears in 9 Star Trek movies, but these 6 scenes define why I love the heroic Vulcan. Originated by Leonard Nimoy, Spock is Star Trek's signature character. As a half-human and half-Vulcan, Spock is torn between logic and emotion, and his internal struggle makes the Vulcan science officer an enduringly fascinating character, as does Spock's eternal loyalty to his best friend, Captain James T. Kirk, played by William Shatner and Chris Pine in the Star Trek movies. Spock is central to the first 6 motion pictures starring the cast of Star Trek, the original series, which were released theatrically from 1979 to 1991. In the interim, Leonard Nimoy became a celebrated director, helming Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, and Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, which was the highest-grossing Star Trek movie until J.J. Abrams' Star Trek 2009. Nimoy reprised Spock in Abrams' Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness, though Zachary Quinto took center stage as a younger, alternate reality Spock in all 3 Abrams-produced films. In his every Star Trek movie appearance, Spock is pivotal to the story, and his heroic nature is continually reaffirmed. Through death, rebirth, and a rededication to Starfleet and the United Federation of Planets, Spock continually saves the galaxy alongside his crew aboard the USS Enterprise. Spock then helps create an entirely new Star Trek timeline, which is where the Vulcan spent his final years. Every time I see these Spock scenes in Star Trek movies, I'm reminded why I love Spock. Star Trek 2009 ends with Leonard Nimoy's Ambassador Spock, or Spock Prime, meeting his younger Kelvin timeline counterpart. Before this moment, Zachary Quinto's Commander Spock was unaware that his older doppelganger from Star Trek's Prime timeline was in his alternate reality. However, it was Spock Prime who nudged James T. Kirk and Spock toward each other, knowing that their burgeoning friendship would be crucial to saving Earth from the Romulan villain Nero Eric Bana. Ambassador Spock urged Commander Spock to remain in Starfleet, noting that he can now be in 2 places at once, allowing the elder Spock to help repopulate Vulcan. Spock Prime concludes with a witty observation. Since my customary farewell would appear oddly self-serving, I shall simply say, good luck. It's a crackling moment between Nimoy and Quinto. The 2 Spocks would meet again in Star Trek Into Darkness, but Star Trek 2009 is the only time they share the same physical space. The 2 Spocks together on screen in Star Trek 2009 is a moment that lives long and prospers. Zachary Quinto's Spock would be a lightning rod of controversy, from his anger and emotions always boiling just beneath the surface, to Spock's controversial romance with LT Nyota Uhura Zoe Saldana, and Spock's uncharacteristically violent slugfest with Khan Noonien Singh Benedict Cumberbatch. But the 2 Spocks together on screen in Star Trek 2009 is a moment that lives long and prospers. Star Trek, the motion picture, is a special effects extravaganza that brought a dazzling new sheen Star Trek's 1960s TV incarnation could not achieve. One of the most spectacular, mind-bending moments of the first Star Trek movie is Spock's spacewalk. To unlock the mystery of the massive starship called VGR, Spock donned a spacesuit and rocketed himself into VGR's inner sanctum, where the Vulcan performed a mind meld with the sentient machine. Spock is one of Star Trek's most iconic characters, and across the many films he's appeared in, his stoic logic and surprising humanity have delivered unforgettable moments. These 6 scenes remind me why I love the half-human, half-Vulcan legend. 1. The needs of the many. The Wrath of Khan. Spock's self-sacrifice in the radiation chamber is peak Star Trek. It's devastating, beautiful, and pure logic driven by love. His final words to Kirk, "I have been, and always shall be, your friend," still hit hard. 2. Spock mind melding with Valerie's The Undiscovered Country. This is Spock at his most conflicted. He violates another's mind in a desperate bid for the truth, showing how his Vulcan calm can hide intense emotional turmoil. It's haunting. 3. Young Spock meets old Spock, Star Trek 2009. Leonard Nimoy's return is handled with elegance. The moment when old Spock tells young Spock about friendship with Kirk. It's a passing of the torch and a reminder of the enduring legacy of the character. 4. Thrusters on full. The motion picture. Spock's spacewalk into VGR's mind is both visually stunning and metaphorically deep. He's searching for purpose, for logic, and finds instead a need for emotion. It's a key turning point in his arc.